Hey everybody, it's Stock Picks by Tim, and I'm on my second attempt recording this, but we're going to get into Chargepoint and Indi, two of my high conviction smaller cap stocks, and they have both recently been running lately. We had that max fear day of roughly May the 12th, where just everything sold off, and since then, things have all been recovering. Now first off, we're going to get into Chargepoint. They've got a very important date literally coming up once the market opens again. And before I get into this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It definitely helps me out a lot, helps me out there on the YouTube space. Now, first off, looking at Chargepoint here on the chart, you'll see that on the R side, we're very, very overbought. And I'd argue that we might be pushing down, especially if earnings comes out and doesn't impress. But we're going to get into the earnings actual numbers in a second. Now, just be aware that we have run quite a bit from about $8.80. We have nearly doubled up already. But in saying that, I do have a price target of about $20. I will start trimming profits if we do approach 20. You might think it's very unlikely. However, some of you may remember us coming down to about $11 and then pushing all the way past 20. Or going back a little bit, we did break our support of 20, and then from then we hit 17 and pushed all the way to 28. So Chargepoint, I'd say, is definitely capable of making some huge moves, but just be aware that, it's definitely going to depend on earnings. And I did want a really quick look over earnings with you guys. Now we're expecting about 76 million in revenue, which was basically the expectation in the previous quarter. They got 80 million. I personally want to see them get at least 81 million. I want to see a beat in revenue. And when you look back, they consistently beat. We had 40 million, next 56, next 65, next 80. I want to see definitely over 81. In terms of the macro environment, we are dealing with some tough times, but I still do want to see Chargepoint at the very least beat their last quarter. Now, I did want to show you guys this article, and I will leave the whole thing down below, but it was written by George Long, who has about 2 decades analyzing stocks. And I'm not going to go over the whole thing, but the main point I wanted to say is just like he says, at this stage, given the recent selling of Chargepoint, the downside risk is likely limited, and the upside potential is significant. And I gotta say, I agree with George. Definitely very bullish on Chargepoint, guys, but let me know what you think about it and what are your potential price targets. Where would you start trimming? And another reason I'm going to be quicker to trim something like this is because of the current environment we're in, and I am low on cash. I'm sure many of you are dealing with the same problem. All right, now next up, let's look at Indi Semiconductors, and this is my high conviction semiconductor play. Very bullish on this one. They've got a great executive team, and it has been recently running up. I want to give you my thoughts, give you some price targets on it. And I'll leave you guys this article down below as well, but it goes into what the analysts expect. It also goes into estimates and forecasts for their earnings. And analysts do expect their quarter ending June 2022 to be roughly 25 million, which is a continued increase in revenue. Their last one was roughly 22 million. So don't forget, Indi has like a $2.6 billion backlog of semiconductor orders. They're in some of the leading manufacturers. We're talking Ford, we're talking Tesla, many other names. They've got the executive team to beat, with many, many years of experience and over 20 years of experience working together. The executives have a lot of experience working with each other, which I think is very, very important. Yeah, definitely check out this article. Very bullish on Indi. Let's look at the chart. And yes, Indi has absolutely been running since that max fear day of May the 12th. And it just so happens that right after that, earnings came out. So it was so beaten down, and then earnings came out and just lit a fire up under this stock. It pushed it all the way from about $5, and now we're pushing close to $8. However, looking at the R side, we are definitely getting overbought. And when you zoom out to the 2-hour chart, still overbought. You have to get all the way to the 4-hour chart, and you're still near overbought territory. Now, I could see Indi as a great buying opportunity next week, and I could see this one as a potential one that will pull back and could give us an opportunity once more to buy. I personally do think that the bottom is priced in the 12th of May, but we can approach that level. I currently do not think we will break that for Indi or Chargepoint. Sure, there are other stocks out there that did create that low, and they may create a newer low in the future. However, I do not think that will be the case for something like Chargepoint or Indi. I'm very bullish on both of these stocks. I'm very bullish on the EV space. I'm very bullish on semiconductors. And there was it wasn't in that article, but it was mentioned that about $4,000 in semiconductors will be required in cars by 2030. And I think Indi will demand a nice portion of that. And with EVs, we've actually had growth in EV sales, something like 76% year over year, while ICE vehicles have actually seen a decline in sales. Yes, the revolution is upon us, and it's only a matter of time. But let me know down below which stock is your favorite, or do you just not like either of these? Do you have a better stock in mind? Let me know down below. But thanks as always, guys, and take it easy.